When did walking into your local supermarket start feeling less like grabbing dinner and more like being processed through a medium security correctional facility? Think about the last time you stepped through the automatic doors at Coles or Woolworths. Did you feel welcomed? Or did you feel like a high-risk suspect who just happens to be buying a block of tasty cheese? You step up to an automated barrier, a high-definition lens tracks your hands, a screen flashes your face back at you in real time, and a synthetic voice demands you prove you paid before releasing a physical gate to let you out into the car park. You didn't sign up to be an unpaid, heavily monitored retail worker, yet here you are, scanning your own bread, bagging your own apples, fixing machine errors, and paying record prices for the privileged dot. By the time you finish watching this video, you will know the exact corporate tricks being pulled on you every single day down the grocery aisle. I am going to break down how Australia's massive supermarket duopoly quietly dismantled customer service, replaced human workers with surveillance tech, used your personal data to inflate prices, and turned basic grocery shopping into a psychological obstacle course. We are going to crack open the hidden history of self-checkouts, the truth about dynamic pricing algorithms, the public health slips that slipped past the corporate radar, and the private tech firms secretly holding data on innocent shoppers. And trust me, the breakdown of how your face is being tracked in local stores near the end of this video is going to make your jaw drop. To understand how we ended up paying higher prices for zero service, you have to look at how a modern supermarket is actually engineered. Decades ago, the retail model was simple. Stores competed on service, quality, and price. Staff were trained employees who knew the inventory, cut the meat to order, packed your bags, and built customer loyalty through human interaction. But over the last 15 years, a massive structural shift occurred across the retail industry. Executive boards realized that human labor was their largest variable cost, while consumer data was their most lucrative, unexploited asset. The transformation happened in quiet, incremental phases so shoppers wouldn't revolt all at once. First came the introduction of a few self-checkout terminals, pitched purely as a quick option for people buying 3 items or less. Then came the gradual removal of fresh service counters, the quiet reduction of staffed lanes, and the introduction of loyalty schemes that locked standard pricing behind digital tracking cards. It is the exact same strategy tech companies use. Build dependence on a platform, strip away the human infrastructure, inflate the baseline cost, and monetize every interaction. When a supermarket replaces 10 staffed registers with 12 automated self-checkout kiosks, they aren't passing those operational savings back to your bank account. They are shifting the manual labor onto you while redirecting the saved wages directly into corporate margin expansion and automated loss prevention hardware. The cashiers who used to pack your bags and check on your day didn't just vanish. Their wages were swallowed up by algorithmic dynamic pricing platforms and overhead surveillance systems designed to watch your every move. The industry treats the modern shopper like a self-service worker who needs to be constantly audited. They use advanced computer vision to monitor hand movements over the scanner, automated weight sensors to flag minor bag discrepancies, and gated exit barriers that demand a digital receipt scan before you are permitted to leave the building. It is a system built on total corporate convenience and absolute consumer distrust, disguised as modern efficiency. Every time you fix an unexpected item in bagging area error, you are performing free labor for a multi-billion-dollar enterprise that views you as both a cashier and a potential liability. Number 8 on our list starts with a question you ought to ask yourself next time you stand at the register. When exactly did you sign an employment contract with Coles or Woolworths? Every human staff till that vanishes from your local store in Sydney, Melbourne, or Brisbane gets swapped for an automated kiosk, and you become the unpaid operator. You hoist the heavy basket, you scan the barcodes, you weigh the loose brown onions, and you stand there like a patient child waiting for an overhead light to flash red when the scale misinterprets a plastic bag. You are doing work that used to earn a local worker an hourly wage, and you are paying top dollar for the privilege. Instead of passing the operational savings on to shoppers, Australia's supermarket giants have doubled down on pushing full trolley self-checkouts with massive conveyor belts. The industry promised us these machines would make quick runs faster, but now they want you doing the heavy lifting for your entire weekly shop. While overseas chains in the UK and North America have started pulling back on automated registers due to overwhelming customer backlash and soaring theft, Australian chains are quietly expanding them. If you are already itching to check your own pantry for corporate markups, hit that subscribe button right now, because it only gets rougher from here. Number 7. You gave up the personal service, the fully staffed deli counters, and the friendly chat at the register, So you would assume your weekly grocery bill dropped to reflect that massive cost cutting. It did not. Independent basket comparisons published by Australian consumer advocate groups like Choice regularly prove that shopping at the major duopoly stores costs significantly more than buying identical staples at Aldi. A standard family trolley at Woolworths or Coles can easily run you 30 to 40 Australian dollars more per week than the exact same basket of items at Aldi, even after you jump through every digital hoop and apply every member discount. You surrendered the human touch, you took on the manual labour, and you are still paying a massive premium for every single item on the shelf. Number 6. That loyalty card sitting in your wallet or on your smartphone wallet screen is not a reward program, it is a data extraction tool. Programs like Everyday Rewards and Flybys present themselves as generous point systems designed to give you a discount on your groceries. Look beneath the surface at the corporate data brokers operating behind these schemes. They collect detailed profiles on your household spending habits, tracking what you buy, what time of day you shop, how sensitive you are to price increases, and what promotional triggers get you to spend more. More alarmingly, the best shelf prices in major Australian supermarkets are increasingly locked behind these loyalty programs. If you refuse to scan the card and hand over your personal data, you are charged a higher baseline price for the exact same block of cheese or box of cereal. It is not a gift or a token of appreciation for your brand loyalty, it is a direct tax on your personal privacy. Number 5. Look up the next time you scan a tub of yogurt or a loaf of bread at the self-checkout. That overhead camera watching your hands is not just recording passive security footage for a guard to review later. Major Australian supermarket chains have fitted self-checkouts with advanced artificial intelligence cameras trained to analyze every single movement of your hands across the scanning bed. If you accidentally misplace an item in the bagging area, or if the machine thinks your hand movement did not match a scanned barcode, the entire terminal freezes. The screen plays back an immediate video loop of your own hands right there in the middle of the crowded queue, highlighting your actions like a video assistant referee in an NRL match. You are treated like a suspect caught red-handed simply because a computer vision algorithm misread a plastic container. Nobody treated you like a shoplifter when a real person operated the register. The human cashier trusted you. The corporate algorithm assumes you are guilty until proven innocent. Number 4. In selected stores across the country, the suspicion goes way beyond overhead scanning cameras. Gates have been installed directly at the exit of the self-checkout zone. Physical acrylic barriers remain locked shut until you turn around, position your paper or digital receipt under an optical scanner, and allow the system to verify that you paid before releasing the gate. Customers describe the feeling as degrading, standing trapped in a holding pen after spending $200 on family groceries. If you walk into a store to grab an item, find it out of stock, and attempt to leave without buying anything, you find yourself trapped behind a physical barrier waiting for an overworked employee to come and unlock the gate with a master key. The corporations will tell you these measures are necessary to curb retail theft, but they won't tell you how many innocent shoppers get detained in the process. Number 3. While the corporate giants spent millions installing security gates and surveillance cameras at the tills to prevent people from walking off with a roast chicken, they missed critical issues on their own shelves. Over recent years, major Australian food retailers have faced massive product recalls supervised by Food Standards Australia New Zealand. We have seen widespread recalls of own-brand dairy products, dips, and ready meals due to microbial contamination, including Listeria and E. coli, pathogens capable of causing severe illness, hospitalization, and severe health complications in vulnerable people. Even more alarming are the safety breaches involving free from allergen ranges. Products specifically marketed to Australians with severe dietary allergies or celiac disease have been pulled from shelves because undeclared allergens like milk or gluten slipped through supply chain quality controls. Think about where the technology investment went. The cameras were trained on your hands at the checkout to protect corporate profit margins, while quality control on the shelves occasionally failed to protect customer safety. Number 2. This is the issue that should make every Australian consumer rethink walking through the front entrance of a big box store. Major Australian retailers, including household names like Bunnings and Kmart, previously rolled out live facial recognition technology across dozens of locations without clear, explicit consent from shoppers. High-definition cameras scanned the face of every single man, woman, and child entering the store, creating biometric templates that were checked against internal watch lists. Australian privacy watchdog Choice exposed this widespread biometric gathering, leading to a landmark investigation by the Office of the Australian Information Commissioner. Privacy advocates pointed out that collecting unique biometric data, which you cannot change like a password, from everyday Australians buying light bulbs or school supplies was a completely disproportionate response to retail risk. Private companies built biometric databases of everyday citizens who never committed a crime, operating in a grey area of data law until public exposure forced a regulatory crackdown. And number one on our breakdown, the situation that proves how dangerous unchecked surveillance technology becomes when let loose in everyday retail. Imagine walking into your local suburb supermarket, picking up your routine groceries, and suddenly being surrounded by store security or management. Imagine being publicly confronted, accused of shoplifting or being on a banned list, and escorted out of the building in front of your neighbours and fellow shoppers. All because an automated system or misinformed staff member made a mistake. When innocent customers attempt to clear their names after being misidentified by automated systems or third-party security software, they are often subjected to absurd administrative hurdles. In documented cases across the retail sector, individuals have been forced to submit official government identification, passports, and personal photographs to private security firms or corporate legal departments just to prove they have the right to buy groceries in their own neighbourhood. After suffering public embarrassment and stress, victims of these false accusations are frequently offered nothing more than a generic corporate apology and a minor store voucher. The supermarket that used to pride itself on community engagement and friendly service has transformed into an automated surveillance apparatus. It does not welcome you. It tracks your movements, monetizes your data, and forces you to perform unpaid labor. Right, here comes the part that made watching this far worth it. Up to this point, it feels like buying a tub of butter in Australia requires submitting to an interrogation, signing over your biometric identity, and paying a 20% markup for the privilege of scanning your own food. But you do not have to hand your money over to a corporate duopoly that treats you like an unpaid employee and a potential suspect. Excellent, ethical, and high-quality alternatives exist across Australia, places where human staff actually exist, where the food quality is rigorously maintained, and where you get honest value for your hard-earned dollar. First up on the list of genuine alternatives is Aldi Australia. Aldi built its entire Australian business model on stark simplicity. No loyalty cards tracking your personal data, no complex dynamic pricing tricks, no high-tech surveillance gates keeping you hostage at the door, and no unnecessary frills. When you walk into an Aldi store, you are buying high-quality staples at straightforward prices. Independent choice audits and price tracking surveys consistently rank Aldi as the cheapest full-range supermarket in the country, routinely undercutting Coles and Woolworths by $30 to $40 on a standard weekly family basket. The secret to their lower prices isn't cutting corners on quality, it's eliminating corporate waste. Over 90% of the products on Aldi's shelves are exclusive private label items, sourced directly from Australian suppliers under long-term, fair-rate contracts. You get award-winning local cheeses, fresh Australian produce, and staple pantry goods without paying extra for corporate marketing budgets or tracking technology. Is there a downside? Absolutely. The store layouts are functional rather than fancy. You won't find 20 different varieties of the exact same mustard, and you have to pack your own bags at the packing bench, though at least you aren't forced to act as an automated cashier while being monitored by overhead cameras. If you want your grocery bill reduced by a third without giving up basic quality, Aldi is the most accessible everyday option in the country. If you care about local farming, fresh produce, and genuine human interaction, Harris Farm Markets is in a completely different league. Operating across New South Wales, Queensland, and the ACT, Harris Farm operates on an independent, family-owned model that puts fresh Australian farming right at the centre of the store. Step onto their store floor and the difference is immediate. You are greeted by human staff who actually know the produce, fresh fruit and vegetables sourced straight from regional growers, and dedicated fishmongers and butchers who prepare cut meat to order. Harris Farm Markets. Harris Farm directly addresses the massive food waste problem created by major supermarket cosmetic standards through their famous Imperfect Picks range. They buy slightly odd-shaped or oddly sized fruit and vegetables straight from Australian farmers and sell them to you at discounts of up to 50%. You get incredible, farm-fresh taste and nutritional density while keeping money directly in the pockets of local growers. When it comes to pricing, specialty organic items or imported deli goods at Harris Farm carry a premium price tag, and we won't pretend otherwise. But for seasonal produce, fresh herbs, and bulk staples, their prices routinely beat the major duopoly on value per kilogram. You are paying for genuine quality, zero surveillance, and a supply chain that respects local agriculture. Then there is the local champion, your local independent IGA or Foodland store. Supplied through the Metcash network, these stores are independently owned and operated by locals who live in the community. When you walk into a strong local IGA, you see actual cashiers sitting at registers greeting you by name, local notice boards, and shelf space dedicated to small batch food producers from your immediate region. In national satisfaction surveys conducted by CanStar Blue and Choice, independent grocers like Foodland in South Australia regularly claim top spots for staff friendliness and customer satisfaction. Metcash. Because IGA stores are independently owned, pricing across packaged groceries can occasionally be a couple of cents higher than the massive scale of a corporate duopoly. But every single dollar you spend at an independent store stays within your local economy, rather than being siphoned off into corporate dividend payouts and algorithmic surveillance budgets. You get a pleasant, human-led shop where you are treated like a valued customer rather than a potential retail liability. To protect your wallet and your personal privacy next time you go grocery shopping in Australia, keep these practical rules in mind. First, always calculate the unit price per 100 grams or per litre printed in small text on the shelf label rather than falling for big yellow discount tags. Second, treat loyalty scheme sign-ups as a data exchange, and if a retailer demands a digital tracking card just to grant fair pricing on basic butter or milk, consider shopping elsewhere. Third, check the country of origin labels carefully. Look for the green kangaroo symbol with a high percentage of Australian ingredients to ensure you are supporting local farmers rather than paying premium prices for repackaged imports. Fourth, avoid buying pre-cut, plastic-wrapped fruit and vegetables, which carry markups of up to 300% compared to whole produce sitting right next to them. Fifth, if a self-checkout machine freezes or flags a false theft alert, politely request a human staff member immediately rather than re-scanning items or showing personal receipts to automated gates. Sixth, whenever possible, shop at independent grocers, local butchers, and greengrocers, where your money directly supports your local community. The modern Australian supermarket environment was deliberately designed to reduce staff payroll, monetize customer data, and turn everyday shoppers into unpaid labourers under heavy technological surveillance. Corporations stripped away human service, locked standard pricing behind tracking schemes, and convinced us that self-service was a convenience rather than a cost-cutting tactic. Stopping this corporate creep requires a fundamental mindset shift. We must stop accepting degraded service and corporate surveillance as the inevitable norm of buying food. Real change happens when Australian consumers actively vote with their feet and direct their weekly spend towards stores that treat them with respect. Thank you for spending your valuable time watching this investigation. You definitely know a friend or family member who is sick of getting trapped behind exit barriers or paying extortionate prices for everyday groceries. So share this video with them today to spread the word. I want to hear from you down in the comments below. Which supermarket chain are you currently using for your weekly shop? And have you noticed these surveillance changes in your local store? Next up, we are pulling back the curtain on Australia's major hardware and retail chains to see what they are hiding behind their low price guarantees. Keep your eyes open, watch who is watching you, and never settle for less than you and your family deserve.